Hey, Homeberries. Tonight, as promised, I'll share what my most hated episodes of Power Rangers are. I have two in mind, and then something like an honorable mention. I've been doing the reaction series in which I react to the lowest ranked episode of each Power Ranger season according to the Internet Movie Database. None of those episodes that I've reacted to are my most hated. With the episodes I've reacted to in this series, I find that even my most disliked ones have some redeeming qualities. At the bottom of the list is Short Circuited from Power Rangers Time Force. As I noted, that episode made me question my sanity for a minute. There was at the beginning, the one ranger put the tape over the one ranger's gym and told him the gym is grounded for the day, no more using it. That sounds straightforward, right? Well, apparently they forgot what they had said earlier in the episode. We got to the climax and the one character told the other one, "You said I couldn't use it again." I thought, wait, that's not what he said, is it? So forget what I said earlier. That's not what you said. Sure enough, I went back and looked, and that wasn't what he said. So, what happened? Did the writers forget what he had said? It still had redeeming qualities, though. For instance, the ranger with the gym was kind to that girl who was an enemy. Even though she was their enemy, he was friendly to her and tried to be reassuring, so that was good. A bicycle built for the blues had its issues. I kept saying, "Do a pit maneuver," but it was still fun to watch and make jokes about, so not a good episode, but it was still fun to watch and react to. Trick or Trial from Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. Its crime to me was that it was tedious, or it got tedious. I felt it ended up boring, but it had an interesting concept. They had the pumpkin tribunal. You think, oh, that's an interesting concept, and I did hear they used it again in an episode in a later season, so hopefully that was a more interesting episode. So like I said, none of those are my most hated. My two most hated episodes of Power Rangers, interestingly enough, are both from Season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You might wonder, oh, is that because of some sort of controversy involved? No, it's not. It's not any of that. These are strictly for my own reasons. It's subjective, meaning it's opinion-based. To quote Phantom Strider, if you like any of these episodes, that's great. It's just my silly personal opinion. I've said before, it's okay if you like an episode I don't like, or if you don't like an episode I do like. We all have our own personal tastes. I'm going to go after these episodes, but hopefully I don't come across as disrespectful to the people who do like them. I think my picks well, not even picks. It's not that I picked them from a list. It's that I watched them and said, oh, I don't like this episode. So, what I mean is this may be controversial because not only are the 2 episodes I'm going to discuss pretty well received from what I understand, but the reasons may be controversial too. So we'll see how that goes. I do feel fans should be more they should be more respectful, less disrespectful about other people's opinions. It's interesting. You look at some people, if you say, oh, I like this episode that wasn't popular, they'll say, oh, you have no taste. But if you say you like an episode that is popular, they'll say, oh, you're basic. You don't have an opinion of your own. You're going along with the crowd. No, I'm not. Same thing if you dislike a popular episode or like an unpopular episode. Don't worry about how people feel about whether you like an episode or not. Don't lie about your opinion about an episode or a show just to try and appease other people, because you're never going to appease everybody. I thought of a moment from SpongeBob. That's why I paused there. It was actually a funny scene. It was from the Ballad of Filthy Muck. Mr. Krabs smelled something bad. He was trying to figure out what it was. So he was sniffing around, and there was a guy in the bathroom. Said, nope. And the guy in the bathroom, can't please everybody. I just died laughing at that scene. My point is, be honest about how you feel about an episode. Even if people tease you and disagree, you can still say you were true to yourself. You didn't lie just to try to appease people. Excuse me. Okay, so let's jump right into it. My most hated Power Rangers episode of all time. Episode 47 of the 2nd season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Best Man for the Job. Sweet Mercy Pie, I hated this episode. Sweet Dragon Caesar on a biscuit. The plot is Rita and Zed turned the class election into an ugly rivalry for Kimberly and Tommy. When I ranked these episodes, when I ranked the episodes I reacted to, part of my criteria was how likely would I be to watch this a second time. I couldn't get through this episode the first time. I kept leaving the room and then coming back like, has it gotten any better? No? Okay, I'll try back again later. It is purely subjective because I hate it because it has two... Did I accidentally give the 2-finger salute there? I apologize. It had 2 plot devices that I hate. Hate spells and battles of the sexes. I have said a couple times before, I hate heat spells. You might think, oh, how'd you like the Hate Master episode? I honestly don't remember it. So I don't know if I saw it and just forgot about it, but I don't know if I saw it and just forgot about it or if I just turned it off, but no, I never liked hate spells. I will give this episode one thing. I think the spell was cast by a red rope. Thinking about it now, that was a clever twist on the, I think it's called the red string of fate, or the red strand of fate, which is, I want to say specifically Japanese folklore, but it may exist in numerous Asian countries, this belief that, oh, when a couple is meant to be together, they're attached by this invisible red string that will lead them together. So, just a nice wholesome bit of folklore. So the fact that the hate spell was cast, if I recall correctly, by this red cord, you think, oh, well, that's a corruption on that, so that was interesting. Then, like I said, I never liked battles of the sexes. I remember back in school, like elementary school, junior high, high school, I don't think it ever happened in college. We would have like a quiz game or whatever, and some teachers, all right, split into boys and girls. That is the laziest way of dividing a class, and it takes away our freedom of picking our own teams. It would be one thing if they said, okay, your groups of this group of desks is one team, and this group of saying, oh, boys and girls, that you're putting me in a group just based on my gender, and I don't like that. I would have rather picked my own teams where I could be with my friends. I remember in, I believe it was 10th grade, Accelerated World Cultures, we had our quiz games and we got to pick our own teams. So I would get with my friends. We would usually have maybe 4 or 5 girls and 1 or 2 boys. And we got to, it was fun because we got to play together as a team. The only time it wasn't fun was just this one incident. There were cards with pictures and we had to guess where it was. There was one that was clearly Peru. I told my teammates, oh, that's Peru. I know that one. So then the teacher gives the answers. He said, this one's Peru. I thought, oh, we got this. One of my teammates had written down a different answer. At some point, they said, oh, I don't think Peru's right, and changed it. So I just looked at the others like, all right, which one of you changed it from Peru to Brazil or Argentina, whichever country they had changed it to? Less happy experience. One time in my 8th grade science class, we did a quiz game, boys versus girls. There were only 2 or 3 boys in the classroom, so that's really not fair. Like I said, that was, the teacher was a good guy, but that was just a lazy way of dividing the class. Well, it was my turn to answer a question, and I didn't hear at first, so I asked, and a couple of the mean girls laughed at me. you think, oh well, they would have laughed at you regardless of how the teams were divided. Well, yes, but they wouldn't have been on my team acting like they actually were on my side when they weren't. So I would rather have a team that I get to choose and not just, oh, you're a girl, you go on that side. Also, with battles of the sexes, like, oh, you can show what you can do. You can do that anytime. Says, oh, it's meant to be empowering. Well, empowerment should depend on what you can do, not who you're doing it against. So, yeah, like I said, I hate that episode. I forgot to tell the ranking. The ranking on Internet Movie Database is currently 6.8, so sounds like it's pretty popular. Not for me, though, because it has two things I never liked, or else things I was neutral about and then quickly came to dislike. This episode is well remembered for having the very first American exclusive Zord file. Well, that's not what I remember it for, obviously. So, yeah, whatever you do, just do it the best you can. And okay, moving on. My second least favorite, this is the one that is going to cause riots. This is the one that's going to make people go, oh, you have no taste, what is wrong with you? Oh, then again, maybe some people go, hey, I never liked that one either. So okay, and this one was, or I should say, these episodes were right before Best Man for the Job. So I thought, wow, I really wasn't having a good, however, what was it, month? I don't know. I would have to check the premiere dates. Well, let me do that real quick. Oh no, they were actually a couple months apart, so I got a break. Also, I forgot to mention, I think the Best Man for the Job was part of something called Think Pink Week, which had episodes about Kimberly. I believe this was before Catherine came on. So it was episodes about Kimberly. They had a True Blue Week with episodes featuring Billy, and then they premiered a new episode. I don't remember if they had a Mellow Yellow week or not. I joked that I was looking forward to Red Week, but no, then they just stopped it. Okay, without further ado, the Return of the Green Ranger. And I know people are going, wait, what? It's a three-parter, the 44th, 45th, and 46th episodes of Season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The 3 episodes are currently ranked 7.7, 7.8, and 7.6. So, again, they're highly ranked. There were just writing decisions I didn't agree with for this 3-parter. Just decisions about dialogue and plot. This 3-parter was the first time I looked at Power Rangers and said, I could do a better job writing this. There was an episode before I said, well, I don't think it should have gone that way. I should have gone this way. It should have gone this way. Then later I realized, oh, well, no, it was actually fine the way it was. Not with this one. This one, I had in my mind, I I did a mental rewrite. Oh, if I did this episode, I wouldn't have done this. I would have done that instead. I just unloaded on my friend about how I thought I could do a better job, and she wasn't giving me any feedback because she's thinking, oh, there are two Tommies. I don't care. So you might think, okay, what are these great changes you would have made? What is your version of this three-parter that you insist would be so much better than what we got? Oh, I don't remember. That was almost 20 years ago. Well, actually more than 20. That was 95. Let me... that was 27, 28 years ago, depending on when you watch this. So, I don't remember. Are you serious? You come on here with your iPad camera and talk about how you didn't like this episode in possibly the vaguest way possible, and say you could have done a much better job writing this episode, and then you don't even remember how you were going to rewrite it? Oh yes, that's it. I'm glad we understand each other. One thing I should note is this is one episode you wonder, would this episode have been as popular if it weren't for the popularity of the character and actor? Part of me thinks, oh, well, you know, it's this story about confronting your past and overcoming it and being a different person you are now, so it would have been, it could have made for a good story no matter who was in it, but another part of me can't deny the popularity, so it's hard to say. It's just hard to say. So, a couple more things to say about that. One, I understand the storyline, the plot of confronting your past self and all that. I understand that was done much better in Dino Thunder. Second, did I even say what the episode was about? I'm so sorry. The arc revolves around the creation of an evil clone of Tommy, Tom Oliver. So I apologize for forgetting to say what the plot was. So the way they get the clone, this evil wizard gets a lock of his hair and makes a clone. The people who know me are thinking, okay, I know you're about to say something completely inane, so let's have it. I believe this same plot device was used on an episode of the Saturday morning cartoon version of Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Like, oh yes, there it is. That's the most inane thing you've ever said during this series. We're so proud of you. So, were there things that I didn't like about this episode, or this three-parter? Yes. Did I think I could do a much better job? Yes. Do I still think that? Yes. Did I still rip off this episode in the art I was making at the time, and did I do so repeatedly? I'm not admitting to anything. By not admitting it, are you admitting it? Yeah. Finally, I guess you could call this an honorable mention because it's not an episode. I just don't want to watch Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, on a moral level. That means I don't plan to watch it because I think, well, that's just wrongity wrong. My reasons are I feel, excuse me, like they made Jason and Kimberly jobbers. A jobber or a jabroni in wrestling is someone made to look weak on purpose. I've heard about this movie and I thought, you're better than this. The characters are better than this. Why did they make the characters so easily defeated? Hopefully they enjoyed making the movie, but I don't like the idea of them getting defeated so easily. Also, there was something that was pointed out in a video. And in Zeo, near the end, they did this whole thing of, oh, we're always a team, etc. Then Rocky got injured and they dumped him and had Justin replace him. My understanding was it was not done in a respectful way. Just, okay, this guy's out, bring in the new guy. So, those are my thoughts, and that's all I have to say. Have a blessed night and Happy New Year, everybody. Hey, Homeberries, I ended a little too early. Sorry about that. Been talking about episodes that I don't like. You might think, well, are there any episodes you do like? Well, have a blessed night and Happy New Year's, everybody.